Right guys, in this video I'm going to talk a bit about why we are blogging and why we are tweeting. Now as you can see, we've got WordPress over here and we've got Twitter. WordPress is basically your blog, and your blog basically is your portfolio. Now you'd be thinking, what is a portfolio? A portfolio is basically a collection of all your work. Now in your case, it will be written articles, and your articles might contain pictures, videos, audios and things like that. So basically anything you do in the course will be on your blog, right? And why are we using Twitter? The reason why we are using Twitter is to keep us informed of what's happening in the class and what's happening outside of the class. So what's happening in the real world. We're trying to catch up with all the news from within the class and from outside the class over here. So we're basically connected to the rest of the world. Now the way it works is all your work goes into WordPress, and then once you have configured your WordPress to send out a tweet on Twitter every time you post something, this is what happens. So it sends an update to your Twitter account, and of course all your followers can read your blog. Now if your blog is password protected, again they'll need to know the password. If your blog is public, then of course anyone around the world can read that. Now on Twitter you'll find lots of different types of people. Some people like to talk every minute, say something on Twitter every minute. It's overpowering. Lots of information, not good. So you want to control what you're saying, right? Now in this course, what you should really be saying is what you're learning. If you read something and you think anyone else in the class will find it useful, put it on Twitter. Or if you're reporting something, you just came across a new news, you can put that on Twitter, alright? So don't be like this on Twitter. And of course on Twitter you come across different types of people. Some people like to be gangsters, some people like to be professionals, and etc, etc. As I was saying before, in our course, or in the course, the reason why we are using Twitter is to keep us informed as a learner and in the learning process, okay? Now going back to the blog or your portfolio, so this is your portfolio. Of course, you have all your work, which are articles, and these might have pictures, videos and other stuff. Now once you've done this, and part of being a journalist or having written an article, you have to go through a peer review process, right? So again, what will happen is whoever is reviewing your work will go to your blog, read what you have written and give you feedback. Now Lynn has designed a feedback guideline. So the first process is you're self-evaluating, and then a peer will go in and edit your work. So when you're doing that, when you're talking about yourself and what you've written, you'll post that as a comment, and when the peer from the class comes in, what they'll get is they'll get what you've written, your original piece of writing, what your reflection is on writing that piece of article, and then he or she will give you feedback on how you have done. And if you follow the guideline which Lynn has provided, can't go wrong. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about poll everywhere. Now the reason why we are using poll everywhere is because news happens whenever. Alright, there's no time, there's no place, there's no date. It can happen whenever. So if you want to bring it up during your current affairs, which is once a week, we're just trying to make this process a lot more easier. Now Lynn has set up a poll everywhere quiz, and it will be active for the whole semester, and Lynn will be visiting the questions which come through every week during the lectures, I think. Now there are 3 ways you can participate in a poll everywhere quiz, right? The first one is by sending a text message. Now unfortunately, being in New Zealand, there's no free number, and it goes to Australia, so it will cost you about 30 cents. So if I was near a computer, I won't be sending a text message. Another way of participating in a poll everywhere quiz is using Twitter. Right, now this will be the cheapest way. If you are on a 3G plane on your phone, or if you're near a computer, just log into your Twitter account and you can participate in the quiz. You can send in your response. The third way, of course, is going to the website. Right, this will probably be the cheapest. So if you're in the library, or if you're at home, or you've got your laptop which is connected to the internet, you can always go to the Poll Everywhere website and you can send in your response. Right, so this over here will cost you money. This is basically free, and so is this. Right, so basically what we end up with are 3 tools. Now they are not very difficult to use. You just need to try it, and I'm sure after a couple of weeks you'll actually find using these tools a breeze. Right, just keep at it, and it will get better. I've done these projects before, and I've seen the students begin with they have a few issues, but after a couple of weeks they're fine with it. Plus, remember, I will always be there. Lynn will be there. Support and help will be available. All you have to do is ask. So just revisiting the thing. This is your portfolio. This is where all of your work goes. This is where the peer reviewing goes on, and this is where Lynn will be looking at your work. This is then shared on Twitter, and Poll Everywhere, you can respond to it through Twitter and SMS or websites. Right, and what it effectively ends up doing is it helps us create us create a community. And in this community, what we're trying to do is we're trying to learn together, we're trying to help each other. We all are learning. Even I'm learning, Len is learning, you are learning. Alright, it might be we are learning different things, but within this community, this is what we're doing. And what these tools help us do is they help us connect to each other. We can be there to support and help anyone if they have questions. Alright, I hope you find this video useful, and I hope it explains why we're using some of the tools we're using and how you're using them in the course.